Hello, 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 hello. It's another video of one of my favorite things. I'm gonna turn the music off. 1 second. Music's still kind of loud there. 1 second. Ah, Can you hear me now? Happy Pride again. Happy June, which is my birth month. Happy anniversary to my husband, which is coming up the end of the month. And happy Pride, as I said again. This is a little manner in my game of Foundation, game that I got for myself for May when I decided to stop applying to jobs because I kept getting rejected for the sake of May as Mental Health Month and Masturbation Month. I got myself a cute little video game. It's very cozy. It's very fun to like plan out where you put buildings and how they plant trees, which they can regrow, and forage for fruit, and then the houses like upgrade as they gain in social mobility, etc. And you can build. Most of the buildings are modular. You can kind of design how they look. You can kind of, the people in the town themselves, well, village really, I have like 100 people, right? Um, they cause the roads to form by simply walking a lot, and then the grass kind of paves down. So I'm kind of giving you a little more view. Here's my little, like, I guess I would call it downtown, right? Or uptown. There's a lot of industry here in the Walden area, which have a lot of these higher density homes. There are 6 people in them versus these lower density homes, which have 2 people in them. And then if you do zoom in, there are some that have brick versus thatch. And that's to represent that these people are, I guess, a wealthier family than this family based on maybe where they work. So it really zoomed out. You can see a little more perspectives out of the Walden area, but less uh, not as dense supposedly as this area. We zoom out further. We have an immigrant coming. Ooh, immigration, yeah. And then we have another area. Here's this wall, and the walls have little lanterns on them, so it's real cute. I didn't know why this was not as like wealthy, but I maybe it's because like a lot of people have like farming jobs around here with the wheat farms. And then I do have the sheep. Look at that, they're cute, wiggling around with their wooliness. And then we do make our own tools. If you're familiar with the game, you have to like have like an iron mine and make charcoal from the forest. A little further out, little neighborhood here, just for like those who like I want to live off the grid, or whatever grid exists in the medieval times. If you know, Foundation's about medieval city building, and I got these bridges. I got another little far off community here, which is even further than the one I showed you previous. You know, they got these little religious buildings. They call them churches. I do not put crosses on mine because I don't follow any um, dying and rising gods or any gods at all. But anyway, here's my big, 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 I guess, meeting hall church over this side and side of the lake. Because on that way, you know, except the immigrant. That way, these people have a lot of small churches this way or whatever they call them, temples. And then here's a big one. Okay, and then over here, now these 2 bridges go across the river, which means that people don't have to walk through all the farm fields, which helps the farms stay more intact. What's cool about this game that Civilization lets you like spin around as I showed you yesterday. Why is it? Mm, we don't produce manuscripts yet. Maybe we do. Do we? Yes, we do. Okay, let's try. Anyway, I haven't done this yet. I haven't done the manuscripts yet because I just started playing around with like the more castle-like structure, which is like this is my little castle, I guess. to guys watch over the area of the downtown. I'm gonna hide little uh, goals. I'm not really gonna work on it at this moment. Um, what I like is that with whereas in Civilization you can spin around, but you can't like hold it at a new angle. Like I can't like whereas this game I can change the angle and hold the game at that angle now. So that's kind of a cool thing with this game with Foundation. Over here's my little monastery where I have my monks and my nuns. They're growing some berries and veggies and things because they grow veggies here. So and they trade it with the world. And so here's a map of the roads that go off to wherever else they go. Different villages that are in the game: Middlebury, Trotbury, things like that. There's little. So this is how Foundation works. It's very adorable. This is the tech tree. So they're very tradition, not very like tied to like the medieval idea of like the third estate, nobles, the clergy, and you know commoners. I will say the game has a very Central European, Northern European maybe architecture to it that I thought maybe because it's supposed to be like all of Europe, maybe it could allow for different like architecture styles from like maybe the Mediterranean or like from parts of maybe like other parts of Europe, maybe like in Scandinavia would have different temple like construction looks, right? So I know there's different ways, but also like with food, like like right now my people eat bread and fruit. I'm a vegetarian, and I wouldn't have a village set up where they eat animals. So, having a more variety, I guess they grow herbs and veggies in the monastery, but like my regular folks can't necessarily grow that. So, whereas I said Civilization yesterday forces its players to become uh, carnivores and practice animal cruelty. At least in this game, I can choose not to have an animal based diet for my people. But something that's interesting that this game does demand you do if you want your people to live in a higher density area, you need to patrol them. I said that right. In this game, in order to keep your people living in a high density area, you need to surveil them, watch them, have a patrol go around their properties. Which, in a village about 150-ish, this is, I don't know if that would be necessary. That's kind of like a myth being told in this game. And okay, look, we're gapping on our patrol and our watch towers, so we had to fill those. So I just wanted to, let Foundation know that they could probably expand their religious offerings or make their temples and churches less religiously Christian. They could also make their architecture styles not so like Norman French or like, uh, you know, Central European and expand it to other parts of Europe, or even and then expand it even beyond Europe because the game style's cool. It's just it kind of forces you to play as a Christian, Catholic, European, feudal nation. And there are other ways to have fun in a cozy medieval town, at least for a game, right? All right. That's enough out of me. Happy Pride. Hope you're enjoying Foundation. Take care for now.